Boost Nation, welcome to Merch Monday. It's your boy Will. So today I'm going to talk about that haunting beeping noise. So we have a fix. We have our new equipment audit by Senko. It will provide you step-by-step guides to make sure that beep goes away, your phone's charged, and the live demos play. So let's go to this link right here and let's start the audit. Right, now that you loaded into the audit form, the first page is going to be auditor information. This is where you're going to put your first name, last name, and email. Now, it does have an option for a phone number, but that's 100% completely optional. Now, let's talk about next and save. Save is super important because let's just say you're in the middle of an audit, but you have to pause to help a customer for a few moments. No problem. Simply click save, send yourself the link that you're already in, and when you're done and available to complete this audit, you go right back directly to this link and it will bring you back to whatever page you were in the middle of before having to pause. Now, let's go to the next page. For page 2, you're going to want to look up your location information. So you'll see that we're going to have our state, our city, and the address. Now it does have an option to enter the store phone number, but again, that's completely optional. Now you're going to want to confirm that Senko has uploaded the correct address. If they have not, we'll simply select no and enter the store name, the new address, the store state, and city. But for this exercise, this is the correct address. Now let's go to page 3. This page is just going to recap everything we entered on the prior page. So, the store name and the location that I'm currently at. It's also going to provide me the SFID. So, before you go to the next page, you're just going to want to verify that Senko has uploaded the correct SFID, and you can find this from iPop or the DLAR. So, if it is not correct, simply select no and update the SFID information. But again, for this exercise, this is absolutely correct. So let's go to the next page. Page 4 is just going to cover the cloud interface and the gateway information. So you're just going to want to make sure whether your location has the connected IO or the Vantron. So the location that I'm in right now, we have the Vantron. So let's make that selection. Is it powered on? All right, let's take a look. If it's not, you simply select no, and it will give you the step to power it on. Simply grab the power supply and plug it in. All right, now I have it powered on. Let's hit yes and go to the next page. Page 5 is going to cover whether we have the correct Vantron on site. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to look at the side of the Vantron and verify the serial number that's within the audit. So according to this, it should end in 4701. I have verified this is the correct one, but let's just say it wasn't. You'd simply hit no and update it with the correct serial number on site. So I'm going to take a picture and upload it within this audit just to validate that the information was correct. There we go. So it should take about 2 seconds to update and attach it to your audit. So we validated the Vantron's correct. Let's go to the next page. Within page 6, we're going to focus on the main alarm. There's only going to be one question. Is the main alarm powered on? Now this is super important. We need to make sure that the main alarm is powered on and connected to our cloud interface. So let's take a look. Now I noticed that it showed no numbers, the screen was blank, so I'm going to select no. What this is going to do is it's going to show me where the plug should be in and if it's plugged into the wall. So I reviewed, it appears that the outlet pulled itself a little bit. I'm going to plug it back in. Now, if that doesn't work and you have it plugged into the wall, there is the Senko tech support number, which you can find directly within the audit. So I have the main alarm powered on. Let's hit yes and go to the next step. For page 7, we're going to focus on the sensors and the main alarm. So upon opening this audit, I found that my main alarm is only showing 3 devices being monitored. So I'm going to walk over and I'm going to verify what my main alarm says. So I'm going to confirm it does say 3, but before I select that, let me count how many Genesis sensors are being used. So I confirmed I have 4 active sensors up and 1 of them are beeping. So let's select 3. Once you select 3, it's going to open up some steps to help me get those 4 sensors back online. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I insert that key, put it in the side port, and just leave it. Then I'm going to press and hold the main alarm button for about 5 seconds, then release it. Once the reset's complete, the main alarm is going to start displaying 0. That's alright, it's just going to verify some of the other components of my system before I continue. What should happen is the main alarm will reset and display how many devices are being monitored. Now, is my main alarm picking up all the sensors being used? Yes or no? Now, if I've done that and it continued to not pick up that 4th sensor, again, I can call Senko and they can give me a hand. But in this case, it powered on. I have all 4. I heard 1 solid beep, and I'm going to pick yes. So let's go to page 8. For page 8, we're going to do a quick refresher on Genesis sensors. For the next step, we're just going to walk over and look for the sensor IDs. These can be found in a couple of different locations, usually the back and the side. But let's just say over time some of your ID tags were removed or you just can't read them because of use. No big deal. Let's trigger the alarm, go over to the main alarm panel, and there you'll notice the sensor ID will display. So let's write those down and go to the next page. Now we're going to focus for page 9 on device and sensor positions. We're just going to make sure they meet the Boost and LG guidelines. So here we have for position 1, the LG Stylo 5. Position 2, our new Stylo 6. Position 3, our new LG K51. And position 4, our LG Tribute Royal. If your store matches, in this case, and for this exercise, it does, so I'm going to select yes. Now, for each position that we have up, we're going to make sure we wrote down those sensor IDs and we're going to plug them in for this step. For my Stylo 5, we had the 105B F7. For position 2 on my Stylo 6, I had 177AA3. Now, for position 3, we're going to make sure this is the one that I had to trigger the alarm, and that was 18EFDA. Now, our Tribute Royal. The Tribute Royal, that was 002613. So I confirmed everything's up and running. This is going to send proper feedback back to Senko. So let's go to the next step. On the 10th page, we're going to recap the device sensor and position layouts. So you're just going to want to validate the information you entered on the prior page, recap, make sure it's 100% correct. Then you can go on to the first question. Do all positions reflect what you have on the Genesis system? If it doesn't, you're going to want to select no. Now, if you do hit no, you're going to have to go back to the prior page, re-enter the information, and then come back. Once that's all corrected, you can hit yes. Then you can go to the last question. Are all answers correct to the best of your knowledge? You know what? Everything's working. The beep's gone. The devices are on their loops. Everything seems to be running perfectly. My positions and sensor IDs are in the correct order. I'm going to go with yes. Then you're going to have an optional question. Was the audit easy to complete? I'm going to place yes. I no longer have beeps. Everything's running. Let's go. Let's submit this over to Senko. And there you go. So that was easy. No more beep. I have my live demo loops up. Now the customers can enjoy checking out what the phone does. So thank you for watching. Let's start this process today. See you next week.